Welcome back to Redesign for All. This video is going to be following up on a video I did earlier about the Queensway and some of the enhanced walking and cycling facilities planned in a couple years. I figured I would take a ride and bike the area that is up to be redesigned and add some commentary at important points. This will give a look at how the area looks now and how drastically it may change in the next couple of years. Enjoy! So here's the section you'll see me riding on. It starts where the construction's going to start on the east end, goes along Queensway through the whole section, and then turns around where the path meets the Humber Trail, which also connects to the Martin Goodman Trail. I use that to come around the other side of Queensway and come back to the beginning of the area so you can see both sides of the streets. All right, so this section, we're just approaching the study area. So this is a little bit before the area we'll get into in question. And so these coming lights are where it will start. And you can see there's no cycling infrastructure at all. There is a sidewalk on both sides, but that's about it. Very busy, very wide lanes. And so the plan for this section will be to narrow the lanes quite a bit, and then add a separated cycling path on the street here. Okay, we're just approaching Park Lawn here. There was some construction, so that's gonna mask things a little bit. But as we approach the intersection, the cycling track will be separated just like before, but it will be off street. So it will be in the boulevard somewhere, which you won't really be able to see until we get close to the intersection. And then this is Park Lawn. We're just approaching here. So this would be the protected intersection, the big one that we're planning that we saw in the plans quite a bit. And so here's a good example. You can see this truck using the slip lane to make a wide right turn. This is the kind of getting past this intersection is where I proposed like kind of a little bit of a thought experiment to what differently you could do. And you can show how maybe there's some elements that are definitely complex when you think about turning radiuses of vehicles that would need to be taken into account in something like that I probably didn't think of. So I thought that was quite interesting. There is an advanced turn here, quite a long one because there's a lot of vehicles turning here. And so I think one of the things they proposed was smart technology for the lights. And I think that could help a lot if it's implemented really well to help traffic flow and also reduce conflict points. There you can see the slip lane, the protected island there on the right. That will be kept, but I know that's not always the best solution when you're trying to protect cyclists and pedestrians. And then here you can see the bus bays, which will be removed. Instead of bus bays, there will be mixed boarding, where you have it basically boarding from the cycle path that I talked about. On the right here is the food terminal. So this is the section where basically it's just this whole section until you get to the entrance to the food terminal is just the fence here. So there's not really much else on this side, but you can already see that on the other side of the street, there's a lot of density and a lot of different shops and different things like that. So this whole section is proposed to be off-street cycle paths. This intersection right here, we'll see it probably better when we come back. But this section does have bike lanes on it to the north, and so this will be there will be some cycling facilities and I think some protection on the north side for cyclists to facilitate that switch from one street to the other. So that was good to see. Okay, and just coming here, it will be the entrance to the food terminal. And this is where it would definitely be nice to see some sort of continuous sidewalk or something like that. It's very, very wide because they have to allow truck movements in and out. And so something like that, I think, could be feel very daunting for cyclists. And then there's the entrance to this plaza here. I think cycling tracks will help a lot here, because you can see how traffic gets backed up. And this was not necessarily a busy time of day when I went. You can see how traffic though gets backed up. I think it will be really helpful to have those paths here. And this street here that goes into the plaza will eventually, the plans are that that street will extend actually into down to Lakeshore, which is kind of interesting. Now here's where the existing bike lanes open up and begin. And you can see right now, part of it is blocked by a little bit of the snow, but there is I shouldn't call it a protected bike lane, a bike lane with a buffer zone. And the plan for this area would be just to add some separation, likely with, I have to guess, with small concrete barriers here, which, maybe not the prettiest solution, but safety, in my opinion, is a lot more important than aesthetics. So I think that'll be a welcomed change. And then we're approaching the end of what I believe is the study area. This is where the cycle lanes connect with a path that goes to the Martin Goodman Trail. It's the Humber Trail. This area you can see is not plowed, and it was pretty slippery underneath. So this was the only section that was unplowed, which I thought was a little bit odd. It would be nice to see this plowed because it is a pretty important connection. But there's also, I think they even acknowledge in the slides that we looked at that there's some problems with that connection there, where you get a lot of flooding in the summer too. There's almost always a puddle there from what I've seen. And then this is the connection to the other side. It is nice to have a separated connection to each side. There's no crossing of the street or anything, so that part is really nice. But you'll see as we approach here and we go back onto Queensway that there's no curb cut here. So it's just a curb, which is really not nice to bike on, but it can also be really dangerous if someone's trying to mount or unmount the curb with high-speed traffic there. It's not great. And you can see that car that just came by me was cutting things pretty close. He was almost in the bike lane even with the buffer. So I think some protection there along with a proper transition to the bike lane will make a big difference right here. And so this way there is a bit of a grade because you have the grade separation there, so streetcars can come out from the Humber Loop. I don't think that'll be changed. I think it'll be pretty much the same. And here's where the bike lane ends. This is another really dangerous area I find right now, where you have pretty high speed traffic and a bike lane ending. It can be a pretty frequent conflict point between cyclists and vehicles. And then I thought it was interesting to note this bike share. This is the furthest out the bike shares come along this, so it would be nice to see them extended out when these bike facilities get put in. This is a bus turnaround loop that only gets used, I believe, part of the time. So there will be enhancements to that loop. I don't know what the details are, but they did mention that in the presentation as well. And so getting back into this area, this is where you have, this is the other side of the food terminal, and you have this mixed use with some parking. And so you can see how different this side of the street is from the other. And so this will also be off-street cycling tracks, but this is the section where they proposed putting a median in the center, which I think will make a big difference. It will prevent left turns both in and out of this side of the road, and I think that will help safety a lot, because those left turns can be very dangerous across an area like this. And so you can see it transitions from like almost like a urban style where the stores are meeting the road. Then there's like a more suburban style like gas station, and now you have actual houses, some of which have been changed into businesses as well. So it's a very interesting mix of uses along there. Now we're approaching Park Lawn again, which will be separated protected, protected intersections for cyclists and everything, and coming back to this bridge again, which again, here the cycle paths will transition from being off-road to on-road, but we'll still have protection along them. You can see how wide this section is, so there is lots of space for it. And then as we come out of the bridge, they will transition back off-road, but I'm not sure exactly how that will work. Maybe everything will shift over because there's not a lot of space on this side. So this is around where they'll end. So this is about it. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff if you enjoyed. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.